Day 20 of 45. Lust and wrath. The 7 deadly sins are pride, envy, greed, gluttony, sloth, wrath, and lust. My brain has been changed by these hormone drugs and radiation beams. The other 5 sins by nature were never a problem with 1 Terrence James Cottrell. Lust and wrath have now been expelled out of my thoughts and being. This cancer treatment has some positive side effects. Hell, I'm going to make it to heaven yet.
Okay, it's coming in. Sometimes this hearing aid, I've got to reboot them to get audio in both hearing aids, but I'm good.
All right, good. Hey, morning, Cottrell. This is Castration of a Cowboy, episode 20, entitled 2 Deadly Sins.
Just 2.
Just 2.
All right, okay.
God damn it, son of a bitch. God damn, I want some pussy. I want some pussy. Hey, motherfucker. What?
Nailed it. All right.
That's been purged. All that's been purged. All that is, you just look back and you go, I can't believe I was like that. I can't, it just seems so fucking remote that I ever had any desire or drive like that.
Okay.
What the hell what am I left with? I'm left with these other 5 sins and I don't sin there. So shit, I'm ready for heaven.
Pearly gates are waiting for you,
They're
sir.
literally, when they say that they've, castrated out your lust and your wrath, and I think you're very self-aware. I suspect you have been a little bit wrathful over the years. But you're going to get like TSA pre-check straight in, to heaven.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get the VIP lane.
We may have to ride on your coattails, sir.
Yeah, once you get up.
This is the.
Go.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, well, one of the big things in life is whether God knows how many hairs are on your head, which is in the scriptures of the Old Testament, and is God controlling all this, okay? And so, when they tell you, when the little Mexican clerk phones you and says, Mr. Cottrell, your chest, yeah, you got cancer. When that is that the voice of God telling me that, he is doing this and there's a benefit. Okay. And that's what do I subscribe to that?
Yeah, I believe in Bernoulli's principle. If you think about a balloon, you blow up a balloon and you hold it. Bernoulli's principle is, pressure goes from high pressure to low pressure. So all that air will come out of that balloon until it's at equilibrium. Okay. And then all of a sudden the balloon's just laying there flat with the ambient air around it. Well, as far as your soul is concerned, as far as your relationship with
that happened to my pecker.
Here I was teaching a very, 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 insightful scientific.
I have a bad habit about doing that. Yeah, people tell me to shut up at that point.
I'm not doing it. No. We're actually calling to tell you keep talking. That's really what we're doing. But anyway, I think that my needs, Kelly's needs, your needs have all come together at this state of equilibrium right now. And the millions, if not probably billions of people that ultimately dial in to hear your wisdom, they needed it. And so they needed it. And then you're going to give them the wisdom, and then they're going to be at equilibrium and have a fuller, more complete life. Well, I think.
Okay. Quick question. Okay. 7 deadly sins.
Okay. You want them?
Yeah.
I can read them for you. Or you got them off the top of your head, Cottrell?
No.
Oh, I got them right here. Right here, Cottrell. Okay, here they are. All right. Pride, envy, greed, gluttony, sloth, wrath, and lust.
So the two that you got taken away were wrath and lust.
Yeah, the last two.
Okay. Okay. I was just clarifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Cottrell. So I grew up around this kind of what I call cafeteria Christian hypocrisy. You know, Jesus loves all the little children of the world except for this group, and this group that don't, that kind of stuff. I just can't do. So I went and made a tattoo. Here's my tattoo right here. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those aren't the 7 deadly sins. They're the 7 positive traits. And so you have humility is the key, and you have a hammer for hard work, and then you have a handout for generosity, and then you have a rose for appreciation, and you have a cross for forgiveness, and then you have, the time clock there is efficiency, which is the opposite of sloth.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, what you see what I'm saying? So I'm totally dialed in on your program. I just like the reciprocal for anybody that was in 7th grade math. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
In other words, I don't want to not do
I'm impressed.
I don't want to do the 7 deadly sins. I want to do the 7 godly traits. That's how I want to live my life.
Ooh.
And I'll fuck it up. Right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm just saying that's my navigational tool for decision making.
Keep it between the navigational beacons.
That's right.
That was one.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty deep. If you take each of the Catholic Church was the one that came up with this list of 7 deadly sins.
It's actually not in the Bible. They aren't in the Bible. The Catholic.
That's correct. This was part of the catechism, the instructions where they were trying to take Christianity to the layperson, and they the lay people were saying, how am I supposed to live? What am I supposed to do? And so they came up with this list, and they said, okay, now this is the list, and this is what you got to be aware of, and this is what will fucking put you in purgatory for 10,000 years. I mean, you really got to watch these items here, and if you slip and fall in it, I mean, you're gonna rot in hell. This is serious bullshit.
Like a fire.
Yeah, and so that that was basically, Christianity is based upon these principles, and it has bothered me, but I knew I was weak. I was of the flesh. I couldn't help myself. I would get pissed, and I would
horny.
Want to chase women.
Yeah. Well, I blame the honky tonks on that.
Yeah.
And Bobby Leader and all that good, Austin swing music. What?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, we got.
I was looking at my.
You're looking at what?
I was looking at my costumes that I have worn as I worked the honky tonks. The big cowboy Stetson, the shirt that has all the designs on it, and the belt buckle of the scorpion, and my boots, and how I would put them on. I would strut into the dance hall or the honky tonk, and people would turn and look, and I would sweep the ladies off onto the dance floor. I was a king. The king. And now I look at all these clothes. And, I'm saying, what am I going to do with this shit? Take it to Salvation Army? I have no desire at all to clad myself in this armor.
I have a request.
Oh, it's the drugs. I
have a request.
Go.
I really want you to wear some of that shit next time we see you. I'd like to see the Stetson and the studded shirts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Cottrell, we got an extra seat to go to dinner with Willie Nelson at the potluck dinner. You want to go?
Oh wow! Let me think about that. Give me the logistics of
it's
this.
It's Wednesday night at 5:00.
Next Wednesday.
Oh, that might work. Next week.
Yeah, and they'll play a little music.
I mean, you did.
And then the next day,
you need a definite yes. Okay, I'm in.
Yes.
Mary went to see Bob Wills up in Tulsa, Oklahoma this weekend, so I'm due for a little outing on my own.
Mhm.
I'm in.
Yeah, Daniel's going to be your date. Daniel will be your +1.
Well, y'all going to be there, right?
Yeah. We have 4 tickets, and we told Daniel
Okay.
that he could bring a +1, and he mentioned you, and we said, well, we'll see how, we'll check in to see if you wanted to go, and that's what we've done. We've,
check that off.
We've rode the road.
I'm in.
Yeah, it's good. Excellent. Hey, how was your weekend?
Man, I had the fire department out at my ranch. I was burning brush piles, and I lit them Saturday morning, and yesterday about 3:00 in the afternoon, I got a call from the Dime Box Volunteer Fire Department that my fire had jumped and burnt half the fucking county up.
Swear to God.
And yeah, they were out there. They, my buddy who is the chief of the fire department, he sent me photographs of, black land, black meadows. I burnt the dang, wind came up.
He burnt down my box.
So I denied any liability. I like that guy in South Carolina, that said, man, I don't know what the fuck happened. It wasn't me, plausible deniability. I said, you leased the land. Hell, nobody saw me light the piles,
Yeah, well, now they're going to see you you got to hush up. They're going to see you on the podcast and reach out.
Yeah. Which one of the deadly sins did I fuck up on?
Yeah. Shit.
I think it's the lazy one.
Sloth.
Yeah, just being lazy.
Sloth.
Yeah.
Sloth. No, I honestly admitted my liability, and I haven't heard from anybody further, but they did. That was my weekend.
Did you burn down anybody's house?
Piles. No. Actually, I'm exaggerating, which I tend to do. It got near the Dime Box septic evaporation ponds. That was the only damage that was done.
Is it
I burnt the grass around these
poop piles?
Where they evaporate the poop out of Dime Box. So there was probably no one's going to complain about that.
Yeah. But the long and the short of it, you saved them from having to mow, but they evaporate it because the soil won't absorb it. They don't.
That's why these small communities do. They set up these ponds, and then they run the sewage in there, and they just let the water evaporate. And occasionally they have to dump it into the streams, and they occasionally dump it into the stream that runs through my property, and then it kills all my little fish and frogs, and it smells like shit. And, but it's something I got to deal with. So, they really don't have anything to bitch at me about burning their grass because, they run their sewage on my property.
Yeah.
So.
But Cottrell, these pools of
shit.
Well, I was going to say defecations. Do they stink like when you drive down the road? It just burns your eyes?
No.
How do they beat that down?
No, in fact, I had one goober that came to me. He kept hitting me up, to fish. And so I took him through the back end of my property, and I took him onto those ponds, and I told him, he could fish there,
Some carp.
He never...
Poop-eating carp.
Yeah. I don't think he caught anything, but, they were pretty ponds, he never figured it out. He was...
I need to remember that.
Oh, that's good.
Never go fishing with Cottrell.
Well,
so they really don't... They don't... there's not a odorous smell.
That's nice.
All right, Cottrell, we're moving on to you good with him?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a quote today. I didn't read a book. We're in New York City. We saw Chicago last night on the Broadway. It was really fun, but we're on our way to Boston. That's why we got to get going and go to the airport. But I got a Lane Frost. Lane Frost, you know who he is? Bull rider. In the movie 8 Seconds. real big cowboy through the early 90s. But his quote is, "Don't be afraid to go after what you want and what you want to be, but don't be afraid to be willing to pay the price." So if you think back on your life, you might be one of the most successful people I know on many, many dimensions. Did you do that by design, or did you just good luck and get to where you are at 72 years old and had the life you had?
Good luck. Look, totally not planned. Just,
one day at a time.
rolling. Yeah.
No fear.
Yeah. Did you know your grandfather?
Yes. On the maternal side, yes.
Get along with him well enough?
He never spoke to me one word until the end of his life, and he had a stroke. And I had some jaw surgery, and they wired my mouth shut. And so in the summer of 1969, I would go to his house and play dominoes with him. It'd just be the two of us. And he started talking and telling me stories, and I couldn't respond at all. And he, at that point in his life, nobody would listen to him. He was just an old man that had a stroke that was in a wheelchair. And I couldn't say a word, but he would just talk nonstop about his life. Yeah.
What a gift.
Yeah.
So I knew him.
Was he good at dominoes?
Oh yeah. The family is dominoes supreme players. Yeah. We're domino players. 42 moon straight. Yeah, you got to do that to survive out here in Dime Box.
Yeah.
I know how to play Mexican cream.
Yeah, there's a guy named Gladwell, Malcolm Gladwell, wrote a book, Tipping Point, and a couple of other ones. But in one of his books, he talks about the evolution power of both our genetics, but most importantly, or as importantly, our social behavior that they just passed down by generation.
You froze on me.
Okay. Well, anyway, long and short of it, he would say that your method, your modality for getting through life was given to you by your mother and father and their parents and their parents' parents. That is not a random event, that they pass on traits that are both physical and social. And so that's why
I agree.
I was baiting you for, was he a one day at a time or did he have a more methodical approach, to his life?
No, I agree totally with that. It's very subtle. You're just totally not aware that that's what's happening, but that is what's driving it. I do sincerely believe that.
Yeah, well, I think you look at the Greek people and they've got characteristics. I think you look at the cowboys and they've got some characteristics. You looked at the Irish people. Every tribe that you want to put a description around, they're sending down their lineage things that have worked for them in their evolutionary journey. Hey, Cottrell, this has been Castration of a Cowboy, episode 20, 2 Deadly Sins. We love you.
We appreciate you.
And we're proud of you.
Hey,
and we thank you.
I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Hey, thank you so much for everything you're doing. Before you go, I got one little thing. This episode was brought to you by 4C Ranches, a for-profit corporation certified by the state of Texas in Dime Box, Texas.
Dime Box. Bye.
Yoo-hoo. Bye.